Remember this scene from the futuristic sci-fi classic Minority Report by 20th Century Fox? Tiny robots from the future hunting Tom Cruise is accused of murder. Creepy scene. Well, scientists from the University of Texas at Arlington say this technology is not so far off. They've created some of the world's smallest microbots, which may soon be capable of surveillance, crowd control, and even intelligence gathering, just like in that movie. They will even swim and fly. Yes, it is kind of freaky. Joining me for much more from Dallas, Harry Stefanu, the director of the Automation and Robotics Research Institute at the University of Texas at Arlington. Thank you so much for joining us today, Harry. All right, so exactly what are these things exactly, and what are your hopes for them?
Well, these things are small robotic devices from the centimeter all the way to the millimeter level. And there are two main applications. One that you alluded to is for surveillance, and more we see the need for covert surveillance, both indoors and outdoors, to basically be able to monitor terrorists or drug dealers or people who cross the border illegally. And the key there is to make them inexpensive so they're disposable, and eventually they can self-destruct, and to be able to do so without letting the adversary know that we're doing it.
So how small exactly are they?
Well, right now they go from centimeters, but we have plans to let them go all the way to a little less than a millimeter, like fleas, so we can tag drug dealers and track them back to their hideout. Also, some of these things are a little bigger. They're in form of a sphere, and you can drop them from a helicopter to go out and detect IEDs, explosive devices.
And when you say tag, you mean actually get one of these onto one of the bad guys and you just follow them home?
Yes. Yes, follow them home, exactly. Attach themselves to their clothing.
So would this possibly cut down on surveillance costs for police departments and for the military even?
Yes, quite a bit. And if I may get into the second domain, it is medical, and the idea there is to be able to have them get inside the human body from the mouth, for example, or other orifices in the head, and go plant a platform around the throat to be able to remove some cancerous lesions, or get down in the stomach and make the person think that they're no longer hungry, so they can control their weight. And we are working with some surgeons, particularly at Dartmouth University, to do this.
So you'd put one of those inside the human body and it can do all of those things?
Not those, smaller ones.
Smaller ones, okay.
A few millimeters.
And can these actually, I mean, could they one day eventually operate on somebody? I mean, could these perform procedures?
Yes, and that day is not too far. It's a small number of years, but they will not do it autonomously. The surgeon will still be in the loop, at least for the foreseeable future.
How do you think that will sit with patients? I don't know. I think about one of those guys on me doing an operation. I'm not sure how I feel about that.
Well, robotic surgery is already being practiced, certainly in hospitals. The only difference is we're making it much smaller. The robot that's being used today is quite a bit larger, and increasingly the new generation feels very comfortable with robotic devices because they grew up playing video games.
And can you tell us where we might see these, or is that all top secret futuristic information?
I am not exactly sure where, but as I mentioned, we're working with Dartmouth. You know, they're one of the leaders there, so I think good things will happen there.
All right, Harry Stefanu.
If I may also...
Yes?
There is another medical application that is very important, and that is a mask that is worn by veterans with severe facial injuries. And this microtechnology, sensors and actuators and fluidics, will help reduce scarring and heal faster.
It is fascinating.
If I may,
we are out of time, Professor. I'm sorry, we're out of time, but it is really fascinating, and we certainly appreciate you coming on and sharing the details with us. Thank you so much.
Sure.